Hello and welcome to the daily cricket show, Cricket Happenings. And on this particular Cricket Happening show, Sri Lanka actually showing their batting firepower, even though Bangladesh raised their highest ever score in a T20 match of 193, but still they could not stop the firepower of the batting of Sri Lanka. And Sri Lanka won the first T20 match, which I'll be talking about. And then I will also do a brief preview of the dead rubber between India and South Africa coming up at Centurion Park, the final ODI. And in the final ODI, as you know, right now India would be eyeing 5-1. South Africa would be wanting to stop India. And as far as the other preview is concerned, it's coming up at Eden Park in Auckland in the Trans-Tasman Tri-Series, T20 Tri-Series between Australia and New Zealand. And definitely England would be hoping that New Zealand lose to Australia, so that they can have an entry into the finals. But one has to wait and watch. But we know that New Zealand on their home territory can be quite powerful, according to me. So, but nevertheless, Australia are definitely going to they have nothing to lose because they have already reached the Trans-Tasman Trophy finals. And we'll also have a look at some cricket news, if at all I find time, because I'm really short of time today. So now I'm going to start my cricket show right away. With the first T20 between Sri Lanka and Bangladesh, where Bangladesh actually batted first, and they got off to. In fact, they had a lot of people actually making their T20 debut. Zakir Hussain, they had 4 players actually making their debut. Zakir Hussain as the opener, Afif Hussain, Ariful Haq, Nazmul Islam. And for Sri Lanka, it was a young fast bowler Madhushanka making a debut, but I would say it was a forgettable debut for him as he went at the rate of 13 runs every over. Okay, so as far as Bangladesh were concerned, they did very well. In fact, they lost Zakir Hussain, the opener, on debut to the bowling of Mahesh Gunatilaka, who actually bowled very well. I thought he bowled absolutely stump to stump and hit the target. Zakir Hussain was bowled by Gunatilaka for 10 of 9 deliveries, 1-4. But Soumya Sarkar, making his comeback into the Bangladesh team, did a fine turn for himself as he picked up his maiden T20 50, and it was really an attractive innings. He was throwing his bat at everything, and he was flaying the balls which were being bowled by the Sri Lankan bowlers wide out to the off stump, especially Madhushanka coming in for some severe beating at the hands of Soumya Sarkar's bat. As Soumya Sarkar's contribution was 51 of 32 deliveries, 6 fours and 2 sixes in that knock. So that was T20 50. Afif Hussain on his debut collected a duck, being a victim of the bowling of Jeevan Mendes. Now, Jeevan Mendes was making a comeback into the Sri Lankan lineup after a gap of 1 year, but he picked up the most important wicket, and the man who was really looking very dangerous was Soumya Sarkar, who was out for 51. Afif Hussain, as I said, on his debut collected a duck. But after that, it was the experience that came to the fore, and it came in a really big way, as Mushfiqur Rahim was there along with the captain Mahmudullah, and what a knock both played. Both really played in a very, very sensible manner, and they saw to it that Bangladesh posted their highest ever score in T20s of 193 for 5. Mushfiqur Rahim's contribution, he was there till the end, piloting the innings. He was not out on 66 of 44 deliveries, 7 fours and 1 6. Coming at one drop, really did a wonderful job. In fact, Bangladesh definitely were crippled today with injury problems to Tamim Iqbal and other players, and that really told on Bangladesh. But still, one has to really praise Bangladesh for putting up the highest ever total. I said it was the experience of Mahmudullah and Mushfiqur Rahim coming to the fore, and Mahmudullah also looked pretty good in his knock of 43 of 31. He was playing some real bold strokes. He was even coming down to the pace bowlers and lofting them into the open territories. 43 of 31 deliveries, 2 fours, 2 sixes. Sabir Rahman, when Ariful Haq on his debut was not out on 1. And as I said, Bangladesh raising their highest ever total in T20s of 193 for 5. Madhushankar had a very unforgettable debut. His 3 overs were thrashed for 39 runs by Danushka Gunatilaka. 2 overs no maiden, 1 for 16. Isru Udana coming back into the Sri Lankan lineup after quite a long time. 4 overs, 45 runs and 1 wicket. Tisra Pereira, 4 overs, 1 for 36. Ananjaya bowled 4 overs, 32. And Jivan Mendes making his comeback, 3 overs, no maiden, 2 for 21. Now, Bangladesh definitely, after scoring 193, would have thought that, they probably have a good chance against Sri Lanka. But the Sri Lankan batting firepower, I have to say that it was really real batting firepower there, especially starting from the top of the order, from Kushal Mendes, who played some attractive cricket to score 53 of just 27 deliveries, which was started with 8 fours and 2 sixes. Very well played by Kushal Mendes. Gunatilaka's contribution was 30. They got off to a good start, a 53 in 5 overs itself. So that was pretty good batting, considering that they were actually chasing at the run rate of 9.65. It was a very good start provided by the openers, taking full advantage of the power play overs, with Mendes 53 of 27, Gunatilaka making 30 of 15 balls and dealing absolutely in boundaries. He hit 6 fours before being stumped by Mushfiqur Rahim of Nazmul Islam, who got his maiden T20 wicket. Upal Taranga was also a victim of Nazmul Islam, who got his second wicket of his career in T20s. Kushal Mendes fell Afif Hussain, who got his maiden T20 wicket. And after that, Niroshan Dikwala failed, being out for 11. And the score at 129 for 4 in the 12th over. But they had 2 all-rounders in the middle. One was an experienced all-rounder, Tisra Pereira, who is definitely in peak form, according to me, in Sri Lankan cricket right now. At the other end was the young all-rounder who could tomorrow become another Tisra Pereira for Sri Lanka, Dasun Shanaka. And these were they were the ones who actually took the Sri Lankan total past the Bangladesh highest total of 193. And finally, it was a 6-wicket victory as Dasun Shanaka showed his batting prowess, smashing an unbeaten 42 of just 24 deliveries, 3 fours and 3 sixes, and Pereira smashed 39 of just 18 deliveries, 4 fours and 3 sixes. That's the reason I said it was the batting firepower of Sri Lanka which actually got them a nice victory in the first T20. And this is a 2-match series, so 1-0 Sri Lanka, 1-zip right now, and well done Sri Lanka. Nazmul Islam on his maiden, he was given the ball on his debut. He's a spinner, and he was given the ball and he bowled 4 overs, 2 for 25. Mohammad Saifuddin was smashed. He got some real beating at the hands of the even Dasun Shanaka and Tisra Pereira as well. 2 overs, none for 33. Mahmudullah bowled 2 overs for 23. Rubel Hussain was smashed. In fact, it was Tisra Pereira going after Rubel Hussain in a big way. 3.4 overs, no maiden, 1 for 52. That was really shattering figures for Rubel Hussain. 3 overs, none for 32 for Mustafizur Rahman. Afif Hussain on his debut also got a bit of smashing, but picked up his maiden T20 wicket. 2 overs, no maiden, 1 for 26. And the man of the match going to Kushal Mendes for an attractive knock of 50. Well, so from here, I'm shifting there. As I said, there's a 2-match series. The first match already won. Now let's get on to the second thing. The second thing over here, what I'm going to look at is the 6th ODI, which is coming up between Sri Lanka and India in a dead rubber. India definitely on the ascendant, no doubt about it. They already won the series. They already created history for themselves by getting the maiden ODI series win. South Africa, looking at the team here, South Africa, Shima Amla, Aiden Markram, again they need to put a good start. It's all about South Africa actually salvaging something by bringing up something special tomorrow with, probably they would like each and every batsman from South Africa to really contribute. That's what I could say. Maybe they could do some experimentation. They could probably get Klaasen up the order tomorrow. Since they already lost it, they can probably get Klaasen and Amla to open the innings and Markram coming in Klaasen's place. Well, that's not no. It's all something that they have to do. But probably they could try a few things. As far as India is concerned, India will be whether it will be interesting to see whether India will be walking out with the same squad or whether they are going to do some experimentation. In my opinion, an experimentation would be better, because basically India can really see like what can really happen, because they already won the ODI, so they could probably give a few chances to some of the blokes who are actually sitting on the bench. But whether they are going to do that, remains sort of a question mark, because Kohli wanted to keep the winning habit. So one does not know what really would be in store. So that is as far as the preview between. So 6th ODI, South Africa would like to get. I mean, they would not like to see the verdict as 5-1. Probably 4-2 might sound much better for them after the pounding that they have received against India. And again, the battle would be against the wrist spinners, Kuldeep Yadav and Yuzvendra Chahal. So that is something. And the next preview that I'm going to do, the last one, is the fifth match of the Trans-Tasman T20 Tri-Series, which is coming up between Australia and New Zealand. It's going to be played at Eden Park in Auckland. Well, as I said, Australia already into the Trans-Tasman finals. They have nothing to lose. But New Zealand as hosts have already won their first match, which was played in New Zealand. But they at least got the points on the board, which was very refreshing to see. And the New Zealand public would have been very glad about it. So England would be hoping that Australia put it across New Zealand, so that their chances of reaching the finals of the Trans-Tasman Trophy really gets a real lift. But let's see what will happen here. As far as New Zealand are concerned, they would like to put their and New Zealand, let me tell you, there are some exciting blokes in the team, as we saw in the match against England. They had Chapman actually making his debut. Chapman for the first time playing against England, and he was very impressive as well in his brief knock. And we also saw Tom Seifert, the wicketkeeper, of whom a lot was talked about as far as New Zealand were concerned, also doing a good job during the finish of the New Zealand innings by slamming two heavy sixes. So definitely New Zealand would be hoping they get more of it, and they would definitely allow Colin Munro to really take off as he did against Pakistan. So that's what they would like. And Martin Guptill is looking good. So Martin Guptill and Colin Munro, if they can really start bludgeoning the Australian attack, then that would really stand them in good stead for New Zealand to post a huge total. Kane Williamson has already proved a point here in the previous match against England by getting runs under his belt. Ross Taylor's experience is always welcome. Mark Chapman, I've already spoken about. Colin de Grandhomme is probably due for an innings in this particular ODI series, struggling a bit. But if he can get into his groove, that would really be something that Australia wouldn't like. But Australia have nothing to lose, as I said. And then the bowling would be in the hands of Saudi Bolt, who have been doing very well. East Sodhi, the leg spinner, and which also have a lot of variety as well as far as the bowling lineups are concerned. As far as the Aussies were concerned, well, again, the question mark is David Warner, the captain. Can he get some runs under his belt? Because he has been really going to a trough as far as this particular Trans-Tasman T20 Tri-Series is concerned. Well, his team has been winning, but he has not been scoring. Can he score some runs? DRC Short is going to be the opener. So I'm looking at this Australian lineup in T20 looking very powerful, because look at the way it forms. David Warner, who himself is an aggressive player, but not really hit his traps as such. But and DRC Short, we have seen what he's capable of. And then they have some wonderful hitters down the line. Chris Lynn, Glenn Maxwell, Aaron Finch, all the three in some very good touch. And then they have Marcus Stoinis coming in. Alex Carey, the wicket keeper, can also show lots of aggression. And then we come down to the bowlers. Ashton Agar, who can also bat. And then the bowling would be in the hands of Billy Stanley, Kane Richardson and Andrew Tye. And I think the Australian batting, to me, is looking extremely powerful. And any score that New Zealand scores, Australia might be in a position to probably usurp it. So the best bet would be that Australia bat first, and the Kiwis actually go and chase it, because Kiwis also have a very good batting lineup. So it should be a nice pitch. I'm told there's been some wet weather in Auckland recent weeks, and the forecast for the match is good. So let's hope that we have a good game of cricket at Eden Park in Auckland. Well, dear fans and subscribers, on a very short note, Ishan Sharma of India, who was overlooked for the IPL this time, there were no takers for Ishan Sharma, has got a stint. He has got a reprieve, I would say, as he would be going to Sussex for a 2-month stint, in the sense he would be playing there in the championship for Sussex, and that would probably also, considering that India would be touring England and playing a few test matches, fighter series in England as well, that would augur well if at all Ishan gets selected. He probably can use the conditions to good effect there, knowing the English conditions. So it should be an interesting thing as well. Well, dear fans and subscribers, I have been really short of time today, but I have really gone through it in a nice manner. Hope you all loved this cricket broadcast of mine. With the next cricket broadcast coming up tomorrow, this is your host Ram, finally signing up, finally saying good night.